Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You join us here at the National Motor Museum for a lecture on the history of the motor car, delivered by the celebrated motoring authority, Mr. Jeremey Clarkson.
Thank you. Good evening. The motor car was invented in 1885 in Mannheim, Germany, by Carl Benz and the other one. And for the next 70-odd years, there were loads more, really thousands of them. And they all looked basically the same. They all had headlamps here, notably. For the next few years, it looked a bit better. Some of them were red or green or blue, and they all broke down and went rusty. And then we got this. The Golf GTI was not just a fabulous car, but the enduring symbol of a fabulous era. In the 1980s, your house was worth more than Egypt, and you used the profits from your endless share dealings to put some fizz in your drink and a spring in your step. For the have-nots, it wasn't much fun, but the haves were having a ball. They hoped it would never end, and their hopes were turned into reality when Neil Kinnock went down at the waterfront. But for me, the best thing about the 80s was that we waved goodbye to the MGB. We don't thanks, you're ugly, you're slow, you don't handle properly, you're symbolic of everything that was wrong with Britain in the 70s. You should have been called the winter of discontent. And we especially didn't want you when, for the same sort of money, we could have a hot hatchback. The hot hatchback, I think, was the best ever automotive invention. The Golf GTI would, and did actually, get my vote as car of the century. Its body panels were from a normal Golf, so they were simple and cheap to mend. It had a normal hatchback boot too, so you could use it to move a filing cabinet. It was sensible and practical, but underneath the plain wrapping it had a powerful engine and firm suspension. So, on the open road, it could send 5 million volts through your hair. He had a Golf GTI, obviously. And so did she. And he drove his around in reverse. However, let's get one thing straight. Volkswagen is always credited with having invented the hot hatchback, but that's not entirely accurate. As in so many things, the Germans were in fact beaten to it by the British. Vauxhall had taken one of its extremely dull Chevettes and used the world's largest shoehorn to fit a 2.3-litre engine under the bonnet. The heavy Chevy that resulted was a very fast car indeed. But this Sunbeam was even faster. With its 2.2-litre Lotus engine, it would get from 0 to 60 in 6.6 seconds, and that's quick, even by today's standards. Both these cars were rear-wheel drive too, so there was some gung-ho handling to be had. They were loud, they were leery, they were rotten and vicious. They were the children of a punk generation. Unfortunately, they were not what you'd call everyday cars, because every day they'd break down. This meant that the people who bought them had to go to work on the bus. So, instead of buying another, they bought a Golf GTI.
I transformed this car. I was the key. No, not me. I. GTI. Fuel injection. Fuel injection made it not only fast and responsive, but also economical and reliable. Someone wrote a song about it once.
I won't let you down, won't let you down again. I won't let you down, won't let you down again.
Initially, the GTI caught Volkswagen napping. To begin with, they said it was for the German market only. Then, reluctantly, they said Britain could have a handful, but they'd all be left-hand drive. It didn't take them long, however, to realise that this car was no flash in the pan. They'd created something that was all things to all men. In those early days, the Golf only had one serious rival, Ford's XR3, which was just as fast and handled just as well.
It's a horny-looking little thing, isn't it?
It was the same size as a Golf, too, and about the same price. But the drivers, they were completely different.
My Golf goes 0 to 60 in 8.4 seconds.
Okay, but your Escort XR3i has a top speed of 116 mile an hour.
Car Magazine, August 82.
Fair enough.
Ford's first XR3i model proved too gutless and too uncivilised to hold a candle to the GTI.
The XR3i handles, grips, accommodates...
Where the
and
Golf
looks-
earns a creditable 9 points out of 10 for its well-insulated ride, the Escort bangs and thumps its way to a mere 5.
Our first preference would be an XR3i. We
It's the only
have
article
the
you can
Escort.
find.
It
I've
says
got a
here,
pile
the
of
Golf
articles.
GTI is a girlie's car.
Where does it say that?
It doesn't say that, but it's obvious.
This is pointless. The only difference between the GTI and the XR3 was the people who bought them. Those with shell suits bought the Escort, while those with barber jackets bought the Golf. It was as simple as that.